everybody, this is Chinessa, and today I'm going to be talking about some personal lady issues. Actually, there's nothing really too personal about it at all. Ladies, if you can't talk, you don't have someone to talk to about like personal stuff that you're going to, then you either need to change your clan, change your circle. If it's your male friend and he is like super weird, freaked out, disgusted with what you have going on when you try to be open, wrong partner for you. I can tell you that right now, because a real man, they gonna want to know what's going on, because you know, you guys know it. When you know, you know. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about one of my favorite personal products that I've been using for probably a few years now, okay? And the reason why it's my favorite, because it has stopped me from having to go to see my OBGYN so frequently. Now, as a woman, right, sometimes we feel embarrassed, sometimes we feel like less of a woman, low down, like just everything that you can think of when we start to have these whether these odors, this irritation. And honestly, it's normal, but not really normal, to the point where you're like, come on, I just had a yeast infection, or I just had maybe BV, bacterial vaginosis, or something like that. So of course, when you go schedule an appointment with your OBGYN, they're listening to your concerns, and depending on where you're going, especially if it's like a Planned Parenthood, it's not a real like home-based, you know, OBGYN area, they typically just want to prescribe you like Metrogel, diflucan, antibiotics, you know, certain heavy stuff to just treat it. But truth be told, the more you take that stuff, the more bacteria joins, and then it's like a never-ending situation. Now, if you guys can agree with what I'm saying, or this is you, keep your hands up high and stay tuned to this video so that you can see exactly what I'm going to be talking about. So I was one of those girls, and not necessarily because of like my patterns, because obviously sexual partners matter, what you eat, your diet matters, stress levels, hormones, your cycle, all that stuff plays a part in it. But for me, it was more like just constantly being sensitive all the time. I was changing my detergents to like all no dye, you know, no like bleach alternatives and all that crap, because I was always so irritated. So when I got tired of like BV constantly coming up all the time and speaking to someone, if it wasn't my OBGYN or my OBGYN about it, I decided to take parameters into my own hands. So I was just online one day and ran into these. Now these are boric acid capsules. So I know what you're thinking, like, the boric acid I used to see was like laundry detergent. So it's like, I'm gonna use laundry detergent to clean me out? Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. But in all actuality, the boric acid supplements, as they are seen here, are a natural base. These hypoallergenic boric acid suppository capsules will have you feeling fresh, will have you feeling super clean, less irritated just from day one. So if you're somebody who suffers from having like yeast infections all the time, and bacterial vaginosis, and just a regular possible odor or some discomfort, and you're not really for sure what it is actively, then I would totally recommend trying these out. Now, they do say that they're manufactured in a FDA registered and inspected facility. However, the website would say that it's not directly tested, so it just means that it's not something that they sell in the stores as of right now. Like, it's not in the major drugstores, or I feel like they're starting to be. I think they're not called boric acid supplements, but I'm starting to see a lot more capsules and stuff like that, like over the counter, as opposed to back in the day that they weren't there. But they're not going to tell you that it treats a yeast infection or BV or anything of that nature. It's just going to let you know that it can relieve the symptoms. So It's like, why put money into a product and you're like, you're not really for sure? Well, just like everything else that we take into our bodies and digest, it's more like, of course, you're always going to give it that chance. Do I continue to try the same things that don't tend to work, or do I try something else and figure and go from there? So I took that chance because I got tired of Metro Gel. I got tired of the cranberries, suppositories, the yogurts, all this crap that they tell you to do. And I literally went here and I never went nowhere else. So how does it work? You simply take a tablet, and I will show you guys the size just in case you do not. And I repeat, you do not eat them. They go into the vagina. You do not eat them. They not go in your mouth. They go in the other hole, okay? So that is what the supplement looks like. It does say Boric Life on there. My camera is probably not picking it up. It's a cream, it's a white cream capsule. And then you would take either your finger, long as your hands are clean, or a suppository stick that looks like this. Same like the stuff that we normally get. You insert the suppository in here, and then you stick this, you know, up there. And then you push it as far as it will go, as for long as it's comfortable. And then you do this at nighttime. So what I do is, I do it like pretty much right before I go to bed after I take a shower. And I'll put a liner or something in my underwear, because this if you're using this is not going to be a night. You're going to want to be like sleeping with like nude with no underwear on, because the point of the suppository is to clean out and relieve any symptoms, you know, bacteria, things of that nature. So if you are feeling something, there's a reason why you're taking the suppository in the first place. The last thing you want to do is wake up to a wet bed, pretty much, because that's what's going to happen. And even your underwear, especially depending on how much you secrete and things of that nature. So that's what typically I would do. Now, it's been so long since I've had like BV or anything like that. I can't, I don't typically go through a lot of these. The site says that your first time, if you're a person, again, that suffers with yeast infections and BV, the first time you get this and order it, you start it immediately. And you do it straight for 7 days, and they also tell you no sexual activity. Then after that, you know, you can do it, and you can do it like every now and then. So with me, I just keep it as part of my like feminine hygiene routine. If I'm feeling a little like not as fresh as I want to be, then I will go ahead and use the suppository. But since I started using them, like I said, a couple of years ago, I have not had any issues, no odors. It feels good to just know that she is okay, and I don't constantly have to run or be embarrassed or be like, oh my God, what's going on? And trust me, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Another thing that comes into the set, and I'm just going to show you guys this. However, I really kind of find it redundant depending on who you are. If you're like really big into like science and, you know, testing paper or whatever. But they have this feminine pH test strips. It's like acidic paper. And based on the color that you're at, so obviously if you're at a 3.0, that means you have a high acidic, that means it's normal. And then if you're completely green, or like a 5.5 like here, then that means that you are abnormal. So this is normal and this is abnormal. So the more yellow this paper is, the better, and then the more green it is, and that's not good. Now, the reason why I don't like using this, and that's why I still have so much of it, is because even after running a full course and me knowing that my personal levels are okay and I'm not like irritated or anything, I find that this paper still, it's not super accurate. Like sometimes I'm like it'll kind of show me that I'm right here. yeah, I feel like it's, you know, you kind of have like 4 different levels of it. So it's kind of weird. If you're like super, super dark green, then you know you have a problem. But if you fall like into one of those kind of lines where it still looks a little like gritty and darkish, yellowish, or whatever the case is, then it's normal. Because truth be told, there is no way to legally get like all bacteria out of our bodies, especially in our vaginal canals. There's no way to like possibly do that. So please be alarmed that you're still going to have, you're still going to be a woman, you're still going to produce, you're still going to have a cycle and all that good stuff. And it's okay if this scale is not tipping too much. You just don't want to be super, super, super green. And of course, once your symptoms are relieved and all that other stuff and you start to feel really good about yourself, then that's what matters. But I highly recommend this product. Again, I've had no issues. We're talking in the last couple of years. You can find these on Amazon. I will drop a link in the description bar below so that you guys can purchase them. If you don't want to spend the $30 or something like that to get the whole entire kit, you don't have to. Getting the suppositories is the most important part. And just make sure that you keep your hands clean. You wash your hands before you go in and insert anything. And I promise you, you're going to come back to this video and be like, if you haven't tried these already and you tried them after this, you are going to thank me, because I had to thank myself after I seen them and was just sold on it. I love the product. I have not had any issues, no burning, none of that stuff. It really is the cure. Like, even if it's not medically listed and it's not sold in stores, it's definitely the cure for those problems that we have. And not to mention, if you are someone who suffers from like dryness and irritation, and maybe you're not as on the tip of the, you know, wetness, then my friend, these are going to change all that. And if you are someone that's kind of on the water cycle side, then these are just going to be even more fun for you. So it is what it is. So I hope I was able to create some value, bring some value to you guys today. I highly recommend these. I will drop links in the description bar. You're not going to be disappointed, and you're not going to feel like you wasted your money. These are the bomb. They are the best, and it is the best $20 you're ever going to spend. You usually get about 30 capsules in there. After a week, you know, the first session that you go through, you might go through them more, and then I can guarantee you after that, that's when you're probably going to be going through a bottle every couple of months, because that's typically me. I might buy probably 2 or 3 a year now, if that, maybe even just 2 now. I don't necessarily need to go through 60 suppositories anymore, because my body is formulated and regulated. And of course, doing other, you know, regular things like drinking water and keeping a healthy, maintained diet, and of course watching, you know, having better sexual activity and practices is also going to help you. So I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah.